Hi everyone, welcome back. You can tell it's really hot out, but we are back to playing race car roulette. If you're new to the channel or a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for watching and hanging in there with me. I greatly appreciate it. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Tell your friends if you think they'd enjoy something like this. A lot of short track racing content, as you've plainly seen in the past. I do other automotive stuff, amateur mechanics, fabrication, engineering, whatever the case may be. Again, amateur. So just keep that in mind. We're back to playing race car roulette like I'd mentioned earlier. If you missed my video where I showed you my brand new chassis, well, go back and watch the last video. Maybe I'll even remember to put that up in the thing like a proper YouTuber. But this car is getting ready to go racing, and we're going racing tomorrow. I didn't have any plans on running this race either, by the way. I thought that the last race that I ran 2 weeks ago was going to be the last one. But then my new chassis was a little bit delayed, and we never even really got to compete. We broke, and I decided to just take a couple laps for start money and put the thing in the bus and take it home. But it's still in one piece. We repaired it. We made a lot of changes. I found a lot of problems that we didn't know about. And hey, why not? Let's go back out there again. I'll take a day off work and we'll go racing. Hopefully when I change tracks, that won't be necessary for me to take days off because I can't take that many. So I have to play race car roulette, which entails I have to get this thing off the scale pads because I scaled it last night. I might do my due diligence and do the caster camber toe, which I got all night. It's like 3:30 in the afternoon. So I'll probably do caster camber toe just to be safe, write all my numbers down like I'm supposed to, and take better notes, which I'm really bad at. By the way, if you have a car and you're not taking notes on your setup sheets, like very detailed notes, you're going to get lost awful quick. And for a long period of time, I've really gotten out of the habit of doing that. So I'm really back to doing it again. They have sheets that you can print off the internet, like these Joe's Racing ones, and pretty much anywhere you can find them. So either way, I have to, you know what? As much as I hate to say it, I'm probably going to change the mufflers on this car. You know, the car is so loud, and I actually annoy my fellow competitors, and I don't want to gain the ire of my officials and stuff, and I think I want to change the mufflers. I know I sound like an old man or a sissy or whatever, but I just, I want to be a good neighbor, and I want to do good by the track and by the people who are putting the show on, even though I feel kind of like a traitor for abandoning them after this race. And I'm sorry for talking so much right now, but that's kind of how I feel. You know, I'm kind of abandoning my home to go somewhere else because they just don't have the rule set that I really want. But, well, I'm not going to be taking my brand new car to that track because I have plans, and that's just kind of how it is. We've had these plans in motion for a long period of time, and I like what those people are doing at Thompson by leasing the place. I just don't like the rules, that's all, and I can't keep up with them. So either way, we're going to get this thing. I think we're going to do the mufflers. I think we're going to do the caster camber toe, and then here comes the dance. That dance will include the following. The trailer needs to go forward enough for me to get this out. I'm going to move that stuff over because there's really not a lot of stuff there. And I might swing the car into that little inlet there in my yard. And then I'm going to bring the trailer back all the way up to the door as far as I possibly can. That is on casters. We can roll that out. And then once I get that set in this place, I can roll all my tools, whatever tires we're going to be using, anything that's in the garage that I need to do inside the empty trailer. Then I can strap everything down, get it all ready, move the trailer forward, maybe out into the road, I don't even know, and then bring the car back out and go load it and then bring the trailer back here. So that's the whole dance that we got planned here. Otherwise, it's back to being 90 degrees with about 237% humidity. So I'm waiting for thunderstorms to happen because they've already canceled some midweek races this evening, I should say. So I want to get this done before these supposed thunderstorms roll in and I get completely hosed. But it's not me that I'm really worried about, because if I got rained on, That would be refreshing at this moment. And through every time lapse that I'm about to film, you're going to watch my shirt change colors from light to dark, and it's already starting because I was already exercising, and that's plainly obvious, but, well, not plainly obvious, let's be fair. And I don't want to get the new chassis wet because it's already starting to flash rust because it's all bare metal, and that just means more prep for me if it gets wet, and I don't want that to happen. So we're going to get to work and get this thing over with as fast as possible because, well, I don't feel like getting dehydrated the day before we go racing, or else I'm going to be drinking 2 bottles of Pedialyte at the racetrack. So let's get going. My shirt has changed all the colors. Everything's in the trailer. The kid helped me out a lot. A whole lot. By the way, you're on YouTube, aren't you?
Yes, I do. I have a channel.
What's it called?
So if you want to go check out my channel after this one, you can see I'm all sweaty, by the way.
Yeah, we both kind of are.
Yeah.
What's it called?
So it's called The Random Kid, and I think my channel link is at The Random Kid 630, like the number 630.
Oh, okay. Does a lot of video game stuff and does storytelling and all sorts of things. So
I do a bunch of random stuff.
Just random kid stuff, you know. It's just he likes to do it. He has fun. So whatever. It's a good hobby. You know, as long as you don't give out personal info. So anyway, we got the new car here in the shop. Again, thanks to the kid.
Yeah.
And
wait, I want to say anything.
What do you want to say? One more thing? Okay.
Subscribe to my channel, and I only have 8 subscribers, so it would help me out a lot if you go to my channel and give me subscribers, because there's going to be a special video at 500 subs.
Awesome. Yeah, it's
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, bud. Appreciate it. It's so hot out here. I should take him to the lake and go swimming, but I don't want to get eaten by fish again. So we're going to have this thing in here until... Oh, yeah, and Mommy would get eaten by an eel. Yeah, that was fun. So this is where this thing is going to lay until it's done. It's not coming out of the shop anymore. I'm going to be switching over every single thing from that car that I need into this car because we're moving on. By the way, I bought a whole lot of parts for this car. I might have gone a little crazy, but that's where we're at right now. And I will show you those at this moment. All right, starting here, I got a box of, I got a bunch of bolts that are going to be useful in a second. I got even more bolts that I'm not even sure what those go to. What is this? Ball joints, axle seals. What are you? Ah, yes. Steering shaft coupler. Because I got all of this as well. Brand new Ford 9-inch, brand new axles cut to fit, brake brackets, jacking bolts, brake pedal, clutch pedal, steering shaft mount, steering shaft, window net. What are these? Front spring spacers, engine and transmission mounts, a battery cutoff switch, brand new switches and wiring, shocks, some cooling system stuff, you name it. And why did I do all this? Reliability. That's it. That's literally it. I bought this giant rear because, well, to be fair, I need this thing to be tough. If you want to last in a division that can't pit, you need to be tough. And this car is going to be built not only light, but tough, because I don't build weak things. I don't fall out of races because things fall off my car or tires get cut or whatever the reason is. I don't want to jinx myself, obviously, but that's why I do it. So I've got new brake pedals because, well, I just wanted to get something that might be new and, again, be a little bit more reliable, because the ones in my car have been around for God knows how long. They're probably 15 years old. They were cheap enough. I already have new master cylinders. No need to worry about that. Steering shaft, I bought a collapsible one. It's safe. And it's much easier to mount than just these steel ones with U-joints. I'm probably gonna have to pirate some of that out. Adjuster cups, I don't reuse those. We're not allowed front jacking bolts at Stafford. We're allowed rear ones, not front ones. But if you get your setup right, you're not touching them anyway, so who cares? New motor mounts, I mean, the ones in my car are bent. We all know that, longtime viewers know that. So I've got 2 sets. I don't know which one I want to use. It depends on the crankshaft height. We're gonna have to figure it out. Bushings, I'm gonna put together some new lower control arms for the front. I've got some virgin ones that I'm cleaning up that are just really nice. The fabricated ones would be better, but I don't have, $350 a set for those. Or $700. I think they're $700. Yeah, I'm not paying that. So anyway, switches. Well, the ones in my car are old. I don't know how old the switches are in my car because I took them out of another car. So who knows how old they are. And if a switch fails, I'll be out of a race. So why not just get new ones? I also got a new battery shutoff switch because same theory. New shocks, that goes without saying. I don't know when the last time I bought shocks. I probably bought shocks back in 2017 and never again. I might as well get new ones so that the car actually handles and we're starting off with all new stuff. I can keep the other ones that I have as spares. Who knows? Cooling lines, that's just self-explanatory. That's just an item we can use to make sure that we don't have failures, because if we use old junk, we're gonna have failures. A lot of the stuff that I'm going to be reusing out of that chassis will be fuel cell. I might get new lines because, again, maintenance item. Fuel filter, it's just a canister with AN fittings. Just put a new filter in it. I'm putting new brake lines in the car. I've got new brake theory I want to try out for it. I'm probably going to reuse the gauges because they're all mechanical and they work just fine. I'm going to reuse all of the drive line, the radiator, that crate motor, my carburetor, all that stuff. So the only thing left in my old chassis is probably going to be the cage, the tins, the brake lines, maybe the fuel lines, and that's about it. Now, obviously, all this stuff is going to make it into a video at some point, but, I have to cut to fit these axles. I got the center all ready for it. This is made to be 58 inches on center because, well, that's what the stock rears are. And, if I need to use the stock rear, this one is completely perfect. I can leave it in the bed of the truck. If I need to swap it in, we just go yank, throw it in, bolt the brake lines. Or actually, the way I'm going to make the brake lines in this is going to be kind of like a late model. So you can actually, like the front end, just remove the calipers and hang them off the chassis, drop the rear out, and put the new rear in and put the calipers on so that you don't actually have to bleed the brakes if you take the rear out. So that's going to be mint. I'll show you that stuff. Maybe that'll help somebody else out in the future. But this is going to be like a complete video of me putting that rear together. But we're going to work on this car after we're done racing. So I know I'm doing a lot of talking about this thing, but this is what's coming next. I got to put this back down so it doesn't curve on me because I took it off the car because the kid came firing in here with his little pedal car, and that thing was about this far away from taking his head off. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be responsible for that. Either way, this thing's going on jack stands. The first thing we're going to do to this car is we're going to put driver comforts in. Seat belt mounts, pedals, steering shaft. Then we're going to work on stuff like wiring and all of the gauges and maybe I don't know yet. We're kind of in the air. Maybe I'll hang a motor in it, but all that stuff's coming. I have too much to say in too little time. I'm sorry, but that's all coming. This is just kind of a preview of what's to come. I'm excited about it, as you can tell. So that's not this video. That's this video. I'm going to go run a extension cord out to there, get the scooter charged so that my brother and crew can use that thing because they're still healing and some of them are old, and I apologize, but you know what you are. And, well, we'll be ready to go tomorrow. Practice report. We're here, obviously. Went out with that new setup, and I'll be honest, it felt good. It felt really good. It felt the best that it's felt in a long time. I was on really old tires, though. Like, really old. Like, at least a few years old. I don't really know how old, but we were We were about 8th fastest, but we ran about the same time as we did last time we were out here, and we were on junk tires. So it's stable and it gets on the throttle just fine. It's new carburetor, feels okay. It's probably going to need some love, obviously, but it's we'll put a timing light on it again just to make sure. I didn't feel any weird vibrations, which is good, so fingers crossed. We're going to go double check it right now. We might miss a round of practice just cooling it off to see what we can do to make it better. We're not really going to make a lot of adjustments. We're hoping that the track maybe tightens up a little bit and it'll come into our favor. Might bolt some better tires on for the heat and feature, but we'll see what happens. I'll have you on for the heat race. Heat race report, more of the same. 4-wheel slide going in, a little bit loose coming off. So we're just trying to tighten her up to the point where it doesn't want to do that anymore. 7's a good number. So anyway, I think we're starting outside pole in a feature, and just it's tough to go out there and be outgunned. I don't think this motor is really up to snuff either with the carburetor issues. Crate motors get a 4-barrel, so we'll do our best like usual and see what happens.
Lord God, we come to you at this time, Lord God. We ask that you be with Brent, Lord. We ask that you take your hand of protection over him, Lord, to keep him safe while he's racing, Lord. And Lord, give him patience to race the car that he has, Lord, and the guidance to do so in Jesus' name. Amen. Be safe.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. We're bringing a knife to a gunfight again. And we're going to do our best again, just like usual. tech, I think. So at least it's a very lovely evening. Tech's, you know, conferring, and they're checking over other cars and stuff. We finished 5th. Car was actually really, really good for the first, until we had the caution. Been a few minutes, still no word from Tech. They've been underneath all the cars measuring, and they're conferring, and I don't know what's going on. It's been a long time since I've had this amount of stress. I don't like it. I like winning, but I don't like stress, and I'm like, well, what did I do wrong? I don't even know, but you go through all those thoughts in Tech constantly, so we're just waiting it out, seeing what happens. So, new development. We got second. I don't know how.
That's the most cars you passed ever.
That's the most cars I passed, and I think I started second and I finished second, so anyway. I was worried, but apparently I thought I did the wrong thing, but apparently I didn't. I fool even myself, so we're gonna load her up. Or at least what sucks is I can't take notes, but all right, hanging out, having one before we go home, celebrating, I guess. Got hot dogs cooking. I'm just glad that I actually didn't make the mistake I thought I did, because I thought we were going home and getting $100 and saying see you later, but apparently I was wrong, and just glad I was for once. Yeah, you can't remember everything, and I really should, because if I did, then the car would be faster more often, I guess. But no, and race was really good. I mean, car, it just reacted to whatever changes we made prior to the race. We just kept throwing wedge at it until it started, well, handling, I guess. So that worked out. Whatever changes we made worked out. It's definitely a step in the right direction. It's kind of funny that that might have been my last race at Thompson, because we're going to be spending a lot of time getting the new car ready. So we'll see what happens in the future. But again, we'll see you back in the shop. Back here in the shop. Car's still in the trailer, all my tools, everything's still in the trailer, but I just realized how vague I was with all the race recap stuff that I filmed at the track. I didn't really give anything away, but we were in Tech for quite a while. I mean, it was a few races out on the racetrack before we even got word of what was going on, and that's usually not the way it goes. Usually we do what the Tech guys ask us to do, and then, you know, they say, yeah, you're good, or you know, they leave you there all night while they confer over what to do with you, which is exactly what happened to all of us. Now that I'm home and all the results are official, 3 of the top 5 got sent home, which is why I got that second place trophy, as you saw. The mistake I thought that I made was, and I don't know if I shouldn't have been doing this, but I was really, like, if you gave me $1,000 and said, tell the truth, what's in your car, I would not have walked home with $1,000, because I was completely wrong. I thought for sure that I had put, like, I'd noticed a bent upper, I didn't film it or nothing, but I noticed a bent upper ball joint on the left front, so the only thing that I had hanging around was, well, my Stafford stuff. And I thought that I had grabbed that and put that on the car, because those are not legal at Thompson. That's what I thought. I was convinced that I had done that, because I'm like, well, it's either do this or not race. And I decided to go chance it and race. Well, apparently I didn't chance it, because that's not what I put on the car. I looked in the shop, and in that bin right there, I found it. And I'm like, so I went over and looked at the car, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is the right one. So I'm sitting there talking with teams that got thrown out, telling them that I had the same thing that they got thrown out for in their cars, and then suddenly I'm walking away with a trophy and they're not. That's awkward, especially when I was completely wrong, because now it makes the racetrack look like they treated me as some kind of a favorite, and it's like, no, I'm just an idiot. Like, I'm just wrong. So I feel bad, like, because like I said, I was convinced that I put the wrong ones in, but apparently I had more than I remembered. So it's like, that's awkward. That's really awkward. So anyway, luckily we actually did the right thing instead of what we thought we did. So finished second. You know, I said that it probably was going to be my last race at Thompson. I don't know if I can really let the place go that fast. I'm not going to rule out maybe going back at some point this year, but now that the new car is here, whatever races we miss building the new car, we miss. You know, I think we're going to miss at least 2 races, possibly 3. I don't know how many we got left. I got to go recheck the schedule, but right now, this car is the main focus. This car right down here, obviously, the new car. That's our new focus. So I've got a few more days left of filming before I set this video out to you guys. So I think, you know, we might as well get started on this thing. And I've been, you know, it's really ridiculous. I was actually more excited to put this car together than I was to go to the racetrack, because anybody who's watched my channel long enough knows how roached that car is that I've been racing, and how antiquated, and how just, there's a lot of stuff in there I wish I would redo, but I've been kind of making do and mending until this car came. So now that this car's here, all the stuff that I wanted to do to the new car or to that car, I'm going to do to the new car, because I've been saving it up. So let's get to work on this thing. I don't know what I got to do to get my tools out of the trailer. I mean, I do know, but you know, we're going to have to open the door, pull the car out, pull the tools and everything out, put the car back in, and then get back to work on this thing, because it's really difficult to get to work on this when I don't have any tools and they're all in the trailer. So I'm thinking, pull the truck forward, back the car out just enough that I can get the tools around it, because I don't feel like finagling that car all over the place. So let's do that, move stuff, whatever we got to do. Got the door shut, no more hot sunlight coming in, air conditioning's on, what little there is. I usually supplement it with a fan, try to get some cold air in here. It should help. It's not that hot out, so I just want to kind of make it comfortable. I did notice a little water leak still coming out of that car, and it's been running a little warmer than usual, so it's like, well, I guess I got to fix that if we ever run that again. But now focus is on this. So we now have a complete brand new chassis that we have to build. And like I said, we have to rob a whole lot of stuff off of that car. I don't really know what the plan is or the procedure is going to be for that. I might need this car to come out, strip that one down to a bare chassis and roll that one out, and then roll this one back in. I don't really know at this point, but I know that we can get to work without stripping that car for now. Because what I want to work on first is driver comforts and interior, because it's low to the ground, there's nothing in the way. It's probably the best way for me to do it. Now I got my other seat in here, which is the one that came out of the late model that I had for a very short period of time. This car is built very, very safe. There's all sorts of bars that go up above your head and make sure you don't get slammed or crushed or anything, and you got the back ones here. You're very well caged in, and it's, you know what I asked for? I asked it to be a little wider too, because I like having arm space, but I'm worried about the body being a little close, but that's okay. It can be close. So it's also got, you know, steel plate so that bumpers can't come through the bars, and it's got some plate on the floor so that if for any reason something tries to come up through the bottom, for whatever reason it is, you should be much better protected. Now, I've already figured out that this seat will fit very well in here. Everything's pretty decent. I'm probably gonna have to center it up because building seatbelt brackets is gonna be kind of difficult. Back here, everything's gonna be a little easier because of where this bar sits and how high my seat is. Obviously, I wanna bring my seat back as far as possible to make life a little easier, as I am a little bit on the taller side because I'm like 6'2". We can build, and I'll show you all this stuff, but I've got it all planned out for how to build the seat and seat belt mounts. The only problem we have right now is the interior tin. Like I showed you guys before, I think I'd showed you all this stuff. My sweat has rusted a spot into it, so now I can figure out where exactly I have to trim. So I guess we'll just get to work. You know, we've got to get this car done at some point, and I want this car ready to the point where we're going to be out here driving it and getting it at least shake it down, get it ready for when we go full-time next year. And I want to have it at Stafford. And right now, I'm almost curious to see what it'll do at Thompson, with a brand new chassis. I mean, I love the place. Thompson's my home. It's been home for 20 years. It's just really hard for me to leave there. I really want to go have a new challenge at Stafford, but I don't want to leave Thompson behind because that's where I got my first win. I have a whole lot of sentimental value. That's where my brother got his first win. It's where I got my first win. It's a very big, fast, tough racetrack to drive, and I love it. And again, I don't want to turn my back on it, but man, it's tough to do that nowadays because with how much things cost and how little participation there is around racing right now, it really kind of stinks. But I mean, if it was cheaper and the world was cheaper, then we'd be able to do it, wouldn't we? So there's an election in November, and act accordingly. So we're gonna get to work, and we're gonna start on, well, just whatever we can find for the interior. So I got some bungs welded in here. I don't know if you call them that or not, but inserts. How's that? That sounds a little bit less disgusting. Got some inserts welded in. I'm trying to get the settings right on my welder. I'm getting close, getting real close. Still not quite too sure how to use this thing. I know I put videos out about it, but I keep forgetting that I can, do it by eye, and it's no different than any other welder. I just have to actually try. So we got these are 1/2-inch inserts by All-Star, and you can see they line up with the bolt holes for the mounting positions on the seat. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take really kind of thick plate, and I'm going to put it out and straight down at an angle. And we're gonna bolt it to it here and here, here and here. That'll leave us a little bit of a gap here for seatbelt mounting. Not quite sure what I wanna do there yet because I'm not confident that this has got enough room for the adjusters to go up over my arms. I'm thinking we might have to build some kind of other piece off of here and maybe do that. I might have to just go straight back with some strap or some plate or another bar like back here and try to get it to go. But we're gonna have to figure that out, obviously. But the top here, we got her figured out. We have steel plate for the floor, and that's welded straight to the chassis on all corners. So that is essentially a piece of the chassis. So I think a lot of belt brackets and seat brackets are going to be welded straight to the steel plate because it's steel plate, and if it's welded to the chassis, it's going to be about as strong as the damn chassis. So we're going to mull over a bunch of different options and figure out where we're going to go next, but still working on them seat mounts. This thing, however, I got to get some stuff. I got to get parts. I got to get all sorts of other fabrication supplies like brackets, tabs, and other stuff, which I might go and get on Monday. I might go up and see Dick Dubois up in Massachusetts, see if he's got some stock I got to bring cash because I forgot he's cash only. But thank you all again for watching. You know, I really should put out the race videos a little bit earlier, but I'm really trying to stick to a weekly schedule, just releasing on Mondays and seeing how that works out for me. And if you want the race stuff earlier, I don't know, throw me a comment and say, hey, put the race stuff out when it's useful information, and then, you know, do whatever videos you're going to put out. But when I go to Stafford, you know, it's going to be Friday night, and then I can take my footage on Saturday of unloading and, you know, put the video together Sunday, have it out Monday. So at either rate, if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so, and tell your friends if you think they'd like some kind of amateur mechanics, fabrication, engineering, shade tree mechanicry, whatever the case is, whatever we do here at, well, Gleason's Garage. My brother got me this shirt and I'm trying to wear it. It's a prototype for maybe someday we'll get more of them, and maybe someday we'll sell them, but I'm gonna need a lot more people subscribing to do that, and that's not your fault, that's my fault. But I do appreciate every single one of you who goes on this ride with me every single week. And I appreciate all the comments at the racetracks. I appreciate all the comments on the videos. I appreciate all of you who hit me up on social media. All my stuff is linked in the show notes, or episode notes, I should say, or whatever the heck this is, video notes. So again, I appreciate everything y'all do for me. More coming, lots more coming, and hopefully we can get this thing done and get it shaken down by the end of the year. So thank you all again. I appreciate it. Until next time.